Yo, what's going on, guys? Alright, what's going on? So, I'm sure you already know by the title that today we are going to be doing 1 hour of Gargoyles on an account with max combat. Now, before we get into the hour, I'll show you what's in my inventory and what my setup is looking like. So, in my inventory, we've got the Rock Hammer, of course, for the Gargoyles, 2 super combats to get us through the hour, and we got the SGS for the spec. And then I brought some lobsters just in case, but with this setup I doubt we'll need to eat much food, but it's there just in case. We've got the crafting cape for the convenient right-click teleport to the bank compared to the max cape where you have to go through multiple chat options. And then we've got the Slayer ring to get back to the Slayer tower, the nose peg is for running past Aberrant Spectres on the way to Gargoyles, and then prayer potions, gem bag, and the rune pouch for holding the Alp runes. And moving on to the gear setup now, we're pretty much going for the max strength bonus here. And something to keep in mind is we're not on a Slayer task, so we've got the Helm of Nathansnot. A very good friend of mine named EVscape informed me that the Fire Cape is going to be more DPS than using the Mythical Cape, although he said the Mythical Cape would probably be better if you're using Guthans. So we've got the Fire Cape, the Amulet of Torture, a Blessing, Bandos, Barrow's Gloves, Primordial Boots, Berserker Ring Imbued, and the Bludgeon because Gargoyles are weak to crush. And now we are just going to start heading over now, and we'll start the timer once we're in front. So we're going to take the Slayer ring, teleport to the Mauritania Slayer tower, and I'm going to make sure to put on the nose peg beforehand, otherwise we'll get absolutely wrecked by the Aberrant Spectres. And we're just going to drop the nose peg to save the inventory space. They're super cheap, and I stocked up on a bunch of them beforehand. For the quick prayers, we're going to be using Preserve and Piety. And with all that being said, let's pot up and start the timer. So like I said before, we're not on a Slayer task for this hour, so that's just something to keep in mind. And another thing is that I did consider using a Ring of Wealth to pick up coins rather than using the Berserker Ring Imbued, but I figured it's not worth it because if you time things right, you can still pick up coins and other drops without missing ticks from your attacks. Plus, it's not like they're dropping coins on every single kill anyways. Also, after this hour, I'm going to put up a nice little chart that will show the XP and GP rates for the hour, and per each kill, and a bunch of little statistics that might be interesting to see. There's also a bunch of people that AFK at Gargoyles, and they tend to leave their drops on the ground sometimes, although we're on a 2K world, so it's not packed at all. But I'm not going to be picking up other people's drops that they leave, I'm only going to be picking up my own, so that way we get an accurate representation of the loot. So I did have to bank once during this hour, but I paused the timer in between to price check the value of the loot so that we can add it all up at the end. And you can see that from this first trip we managed to get 314k worth of loot. But we are going to keep the timer running as we head to the bank, so let's start it up once again and finish up this hour. At the end of the hour, we're going to take all the money we earned and buy all these supplies that we used back so we can figure out exactly how much profit was made. And one more thing I'm going to say now is that the only unique we got in this 1 hour was a Granite Maul. Looking back at the hour now, I probably could have either brought more prayer potions from the start or have been flicking Piety during the hour, but I didn't do that, so we did have to bank that one time. So it's going to be one more thing you're going to have to keep in mind when looking at these statistics that I'll be showing you in just a minute. And this is the end of the hour right here. Let's pick up the loot from this last Gargoyle and we'll teleport back to the bank. And before we do anything else, let's see how much XP we got. I'm not going to do any of the math right here. Like I said, I'll show the chart in just 1 minute and we'll analyze it from there. But we got 85.2k strength XP and 28.4k hit points XP. The reason why the XP per hour on the tracker doesn't match up is because we had to pause the timer while we price checked the loot from the first trip. So after I emptied out the gem bag, it turns out this second trip was 411k GP, and if we add that with the 314k from the first trip, that is 725k GP in total for the hour. Also want to give a shout out to Robo for letting me borrow his SGS. Thank you very much, man. That is very much appreciated and you are a freaking legend. And now we're going to the GE to buy all the supplies back that we used, and we ended up using 11 prayer potions, 2 super combats, 18 nature runes, and 90 fire runes. So now the final total profit from 1 hour of Gargoyles after subtracting the cost of supplies is just over 594k. So obviously this isn't game changing, you're still going to make more profit from raids or Zilra or Vorkath, but this is what you can expect to earn from Gargoyles with max combat stats and equipment. I mean, we didn't have the Infernal Cape, but it's close enough. So now let me show you this amazing chart slash image that I worked very hard to create. Alright, let's start in the top right corner. This is the XP and GP earned in this 1 hour, which we already went over, but now it's laid out nice and pretty for you to see. And then in the bottom right are the supplies that were used, which we went over before the price check as well, but that is what we used during this hour. And on the left side of the screen are the fun statistics. So 260 Gargoyles were killed in this 1 hour, which comes out to an average of 1 every 13.85 seconds, and keep in mind this is including that one trip to the bank. If we divide the total loot by the number of gargoyles, then each gargoyle had an average value of 2,788 GP. And if you want to include the cost of supplies in there, then the total profit from each gargoyle was 2,284 GP. And the only unique we got was the Granite Maul, which is a 1 out of 256 drop, and it's worth the same as its high alch value, which is 30k GP. So this hour was a very standard and average hour. I mean, the 1 out of 256 drop rate of the Granite Maul matches up with the 260 kills that we did, so we didn't get a bunch of like insane drops. We got 18 alchable items, so I mean, it is what it is. Everyone's going to get different drops, but we didn't have like extra insane crazy RNG for this hour, so I think this is about average for what we had and what gear and setup that we were using. Whenever I do this type of video, I always like to go to free to play on a alt account and then find someone working hard grinding for a bond and willing to help out as well to give all the profit to, because that money is going to be worth a lot more to someone in free to play than it will be to me. And I found this guy mining at the crafting guild, and basically I told him that I'm a new player and I just finished Rune Mysteries, but I can't find the rune crafting altar and I really want to train rune crafting. And he said that he wasn't sure himself, but that he would help me find it. So he actually looked it up and he thought he had it, but we ended up spending like 5 minutes running around looking for the air altar, but we did eventually find it. He went above and beyond to take the time out to help this noob, and that's the type of positive energy and helpful attitude that should be more common in the community. Hopefully this can be some motivation for him to stick with grinding out to that bond, and hopefully he'll stick around the game for a while, because we could always use more players like him. But that is going to wrap it up for this video, and I hope you found it useful in at least one way or another. But yeah, that is going to be all, so I want to thank you very much for watching today's video, and I will see you again tomorrow.